Tonight was the night where the road to WrestleMania begins with the 2021 Royal Rumble. Inside of the Thunderdome at Tropicana Field, 30 men and 30 women embark on a wild journey that's going to be twists and turns all the way up that will lead us to April 10 and April 11th at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida for WrestleMania. But tonight, the road starts with this. Hello, everybody. It is Golden MF Michael Fletcher alongside my good buddy Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock, and we welcome you to the recap of the Royal Rumble 2021, the first event of the WWE's calendar pay-per-view. And like we said, this is the big one. This was the road that leads us to WrestleMania. And wow, if this is the road that we're going into, buckle up, folks. This one's gonna be one for the ages. So let's go in and let's dive it. We jump it off. Normally we don't talk about pre-show fights, but we need to talk about this one. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler goes up against the reigning and defending WWE Women Tag Team Champions Asuka and Charlotte Flair. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 30 seconds and new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler. They have won the titles, and okay. This was a pretty decent match. However, there was a lot of interference at the end. Ric Flair came out, and we knew Ric Flair was there, so we're like, okay, wait a minute. Where is Lacey? Where are you, sweetheart? Where are you at? We know you've been hanging with Rick, dirtiest player in the game. Where are you at? Where are you? Well, she was behind Charlotte. She was going to try to attack her, but Charlotte was able to cut her off at the pass, got a hold of her, toss her off the ring. Then Flair gets up on the apron, tosses something to Lacey. The next thing you know, woman's right. But you notice, normally when the woman's right, maybe they start squirming. Charlotte was out like a light. She was completely out, like knocked out. Willie, wait a minute. Then you start seeing Lacey putting something in her tights. Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game, tossed brass knucks to Lacey to knock Rick's daughter out. Nia Jax hits a leg drop. 1, 2, 3. We got new champions. And in the moral words of Gorilla Monsoon, a miscarriage of justice happened here tonight in the Thunderdome. I can't believe it. It was at least a 2.5 to 2.75 of a star match. Anthony Florio. Yes, history was made, but a miscarriage of justice. I can't believe it.
I had a feeling this was going to happen. I had a feeling it was going to happen. I called this, guys. I believe I had this one the other night. I believe I did. 2.5 to 3 stars for the rating. This was one of the first times that both teams have actually looked like they were partners. We saw double team moves, saves, and classic tag tactics. 1 or 2 close calls aside, this was a solid performance. All 4 ladies did a good job making the match look competitive. Baszler looked especially fired up. The only spot that looked off was Charlotte's moonsault to the floor. She took way too long getting into position and didn't look like she hit either opponent hard enough to justify how they sold it. The shenanigans with Lacey Evans and Ric Flair fit the ongoing storyline, but led to a decent match being taken down a peg right at the end. But that's all there is to say on that. Now, Nia and Shayna, they can hold the belts now. I think this will go down at WrestleMania. I think they're going to hold the belts till Mania, and I think they'll drop them at Mania to Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. That's just how I feel about it. But then again, the Riot Squad could swoop in there. You don't know. Maybe they do a multi-team match at Mania like we saw a couple years ago. So we'll see. But for right now, 2.5 to 3 stars. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Phenom, I believe I had this one the other night.
Yeah, you did have it. You did have it. But yeah, I mean, this was like the late Gorilla Monsoon would say, a miscarriage of justice. I mean, I'm gonna have to only give this 2.5 stars. I mean, I could have given it three if I wanted to, but because of so much interference near the end of the match, it did take some away from it. But it was still fine for what it was. And like you said, this continues the ongoing storyline with Charlotte, Lacey, and of course Ric Flair as well. So 2.5 stars, nothing more for me to add. So Fletch, let's get on to the main card.
And believe it or not, folks, the first fight of the Royal Rumble was for the WWE Championship. That's right, folks. We started it on Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre puts the title on the line against Bill Goldberg, the winner of the bout, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And still, the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. Thank the Lord this happened. Anthony Florio, I know it's not going to get the high rating. I know it'll probably be worst fight of the night.
Yeah.
But admit it, we got the right outcome. Drew McIntyre is still the champion.
Yes, and I will admit I was sweating bullets for a moment. I was. I mean, when Goldberg hit that jackhammer, I'm like, oh no, don't tell me. Don't tell me. But then I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay. So I'm gonna give it about 1.5 to 2 though. I mean, this is exactly what this match needed to be. Nobody expected a 20-minute 5-star Flair Steamboat classic, and it was never going to be that way. This was always going to be quick. The way they set everything up helped sell how both men are beasts without making them spend a ton of time in the ring. It was booked well under the circumstances. Was it an awesome match? No. But we all knew what we were in for with this one. It was as good as it was ever going to be, and that is the best we can ask for when it comes to legends performing with current stars. So I'll give it 1.5 to 2 to be generous here. Give it an effort there, because there were some good near falls there, some believable near falls. Like I said, I was sweating bullets for a moment, but thankfully the right outcome did prevail. Thank goodness. So not much more to say on that. So, Michael Bullock, I was sweating bullets. What about you?
Huh. I was sweating bullets too. I mean, when he hit the jackhammer, I was like, oh no, don't tell me they're actually going to do this. And if they were, I was going to go on a major Phenom rant right on the show, but thank goodness that did not happen. We got the outcome we wanted. I'll give it 1.5 for the effort. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was short, but there were some good near falls during the amount of time it did get. But I do agree it was definitely the worst fight of the night as far as I'm concerned. So nothing more to say. Fletch, all I can say is thank goodness we got the right outcome here, because I can only imagine what would have happened if Bill Goldberg had won it.
Oh man. Yeah. I'm not even gonna say anything. 1 star for the rating. I'm happy with the outcome. There's really nothing more to add. Back to the action, guys. We go to the SmackDown Women's Title match. Sasha Banks versus Carmella. Sasha Banks, the boss, successfully defends the title. 10 minutes and 25 seconds. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good match for what it was. 2.5 stars is my rating for the match. I mean, I mean, this to me was definitely the right outcome. I mean, having Sasha drop the title to Carmella would have made no sense, but you want Sasha to go into WrestleMania as the as the SmackDown Women's Champion. So this definitely continues her momentum. So nothing more to say. Fletch, right outcome here.
Yeah, right outcome indeed. 2.5 stars for me as well. Good match. Good, solid battle. No doubt about it. Really nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
3 stars for me. This was a fun match that showed just how much Carmella has grown as a performer over the years. Not only did she hang with the boss, but she survived a scary bump and recovered like a champ. Reginald's involvement was done well in a way that did not take too much attention away from the women in the ring, and he was kicked out at the perfect time by the referee. I believe it was Jason Ayers who refereed this match. And Sasha Banks remains one of the most consistent performers, and her chemistry with Carmella may lead to this feud lasting for at least one more pay-per-view, which would be the Elimination Chamber in 3 weeks. And this exceeded expectations in almost every way. So I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars. So not much more to say. MF, for the first of 2 times tonight, it is time for the Royal Rumble match.
It is the Women's Royal Rumble match that we jump it off. So here we go, guys. Number 1 was Bayley. Number 2, Naomi. Welcome back, Naomi. Bianca Belair came out number 3. Billie Kay came out number 4. Number 5, we had an NXT invasion. Shotzi Blackheart, number 5. Number 6, Shayna Baszler. Number 7, Toni Storm of NXT. Number 8, Jillian Hall. How about that? Number 9, Ruby Riott. Number 10 was Victoria. Yes, Victoria. 11, Peyton Royce. Number 12, Santana Garrett from NXT. Number 13 was Liv Morgan. Number 14, I guess you could say this is her main roster debut, but she's still listed under NXT banner, The Nightmare, Rhea Ripley. 15 was Charlotte Flair. 16 was Dana Brooke. 17, Tori Wilson, Hall of Famer Tori Wilson. 18, Lacey Evans. 19, Mickie James. 20 was Nikki Cross. 21, Alicia Fox. 22, Mandy Rose. 23, Dakota Kai of NXT. 24, Carmella. 25, Tamina. 26, Lana. 27 was Alexa Bliss. 28, Ember Moon. 29 was Nia Jax. And of course, because of her victory last night, Natalya, number 30 in the Royal Rumble match. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble match, Bianca Belair of SmackDown Live. Oh my goodness. Well, the prognosticators predicted her. A lot of people on the dirt sheets were predicting her. Anthony Florio predicted it. They were all correct. The money line in Vegas had her as the favorite, and it proved to be money. If you have Bianca Belair in your pool, congratulations. You walk with the bragging rights. You may walk away with money, but you walk away with the biggest victory of them all. Tremendous Royal Rumble. Great matchup. And the thing was, there was a lot of different stories that we had in this Rumble. We had a brief... It looked like maybe there was an iconic moment where Peyton and Billy could have reunited just briefly, but we didn't get that, unfortunately. We got a lot of the legends coming back. Victoria looks great. Tori, oh my god, man. Tori Wilson. She's in her 40s, I think. Late 30s, early 40s, and she looks as fine wine, man. Good grief. She looked amazing. Bianca pulling a Ric Flair, coming from the number 3 spot to win the Royal Rumble. That is the earliest a woman has won the Rumble from that spot, and believe it or not, she is the second person from the number 3 spot to win the Royal Rumble match. That's incredible. For the first time since 1992, that an individual from the 3 goes all the way to win it all. And she was there for over 55 minutes in the Rumble. That's an incredible feat, incredible match to say the very least. And props to Rhea Ripley too for being in the final 2. She's got a bright future. And you know, there was one point, and you talked about it, Michael Volek, that Rhea eliminated Alexa Bliss right before it looked like she was setting up to become the Fiend. And we all said it. If Alexa turned into Fiend mode, it was over. Nobody was going to win the Rumble. She was going to win this. Before she even got to that point, she went out the window. She went out the ring thanks to the Nightmare. I don't know, boys. I think Rhea Ripley might have just made a new enemy in Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is going to remember that. This could be a really interesting rivalry. How is that going to play out? You got the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley, against Alexa Bliss, going into Fiend mode and all that stuff. Oh boy, that could be very interesting.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing, Fletch. Rhea Ripley's not going to back down from anybody.
Oh,
especially if Alexa Bliss goes into Fiend mode. No way. She's taken on some toughies before.
Oh yeah.
This will be no different.
And the thing is, I'm going to openly admit this now. Because of what I saw, I'm pretty confident Rhea Ripley's going to end up on Monday Night Raw now. Even though I want her on SmackDown, I'm going to openly admit it. She went from NXT. I would not be shocked if we see her on Raw tomorrow night. I'm pretty confident with that analysis because of what she did and because of the interaction with Alexa Bliss. I think Alexa and Rhea is probably heading to Mania. I think that's going to be one of the matches heading to WrestleMania. Just a thought. But also, let's talk about the winner. Bianca Belair. Where do we go with her? Like I said, a lot of people on the internet is ecstatic. I'm happy. That's a SmackDown win for us. We don't get many SmackDown wins, but it seems like it's weird. When every Royal Rumble year, we get one. We don't know where we're going to get it. We don't know if it's going to be the men or the women. But this year, boy, did we want this. We wanted this one. Bianca wins. Now that means she could fight Asuka. She could fight the Diamond in the Sky, Io Shirai. Or she could go after Sasha Banks, which we all think she's going to go after the boss. And man, what a match if that happens. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania at Raymond James? 4.5 to 4 3/4. I don't think it gets the full 5. But this was an amazing Royal Rumble match. I'll openly admit it. This was probably the best Rumble match of the 3 that they've done. Out of all the Rumble matches they've done, I think this is the best. This is the best Rumble match of all of the women's Rumbles that they have done yet. I think this was the biggest and the best one yet. Good luck to future Rumbles to try to top this. I thought this was almost by far, I thought this was the best Rumble yet. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
There's been 4, you're right. And I also 100% agree with you, MF. This was the greatest women's Royal Rumble match since the inception of the women's Royal Rumble match in 2018. Wow. And once again, I say, I believe I had this one, gentlemen. I believe I had this one. You all bought into the hype of Alexa Bliss and the Fiend, and I can certainly understand it, but never buy in. What do I always tell you guys? Never buy into the hype. And you all bought into the hype, hook, line, and sinker, and Bianca did it. And I had this feeling she was going to do it. And this was the perfect way for her to do it. I mean, she sets a new longevity record. 56 minutes, 49 seconds, according to, I believe it was Phillips who said it. But 56-49. She had 4 eliminations. Rhea Ripley had the most eliminations with 7. But Baszler had 6. Belair had 4. Nia Jax also had 4. And that was it. So, yeah. This was a well-booked Rumble with several entertaining moments, cameos, and eliminations. Bringing it down to Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley as the final 2 made the outcome both unpredictable and satisfying. These are usually tough matches to rate, but this one was easy. If it keeps your attention from start to finish and has the right winner, it was a great Rumble. And the post-match promo from Bianca Belair with Kayla Braxton felt genuinely emotional and was a great way to cap off her win. Now, now I know I do, and I'm sure MF and Bullock do too, and I'm sure if Dee Whitson, if she was with us, if you follow WWE on Instagram, they posted a brief clip of a very emotional Bianca Belair with her husband Montez Ford of the Street Profits. I mean, man, if you didn't feel any emotion from seeing that, you simply don't have a soul. I mean, that's all there is to say on that. The emotion, absolutely. I mean, it was overwhelming emotion, and man alive, that definitely brought a tear to my eye and definitely tugged on my heartstring, no doubt about that. And if you guys haven't had a chance to see it, hop on the WWE's Instagram and find that moment. You find that moment, you'll feel that overwhelming emotion too. I mean, what a special moment for that young lady. And I know not everybody is a fan of hers. I know she has some detractors and whatnot. MF knows one personally, but you know, it is what it is. Can't please everybody, as we say. But I mean, she's come a long way. You know, she had that, you know, obnoxious diva attitude in NXT, and you know, now she's gone from that to a humble, hardworking woman, and what a moment for her. And she now joins Asuka, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. Not bad company, to say the very least, when it comes to women's Royal Rumble winners. And the last 2 women's Royal Rumble winners have gone on to win the big one at WrestleMania. Becky in the women's main event 2 years ago. Charlotte when she took the NXT women's title from Rhea Ripley. And I'm going on the record right here and right now. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, Bianca Belair will go after Sasha Banks and the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania. And I'm also going to go on the record and say that Bianca Belair will dethrone the boss and become the next SmackDown Women's Champion at WrestleMania. I think she's ready. After that performance tonight, she's damn sure ready. If you weren't a believer of her before, you damn sure are now. And I damn sure am. No doubt about that. Well done, young lady. Congratulations. You damn sure deserve it. Wow. If we didn't have any of that 24/7 BS during this, I would have pulled the trigger and given this 5. I would have. But unfortunately, that's silliness. I have to do a minor deduction, but it's just that, a minor deduction. So I mean, for them to do stuff like that during that match, I mean, that was absolutely reprehensible and beyond pointless and unnecessary. You couldn't have saved that until Raw tomorrow night or whatever. That's the only nitpick. But other than that, MF, you nailed it. greatest women's Royal Rumble match of all time. 4.5 to 4 3/4 of a star. I mean, Phenom Michael Bullock, you asked me the question during our chat the other night. You said, hey, Florio, I wonder if we're going to see any NXT involvement. Well, guess what, brother? You wanted NXT involvement? You got it. And they all looked great, especially your girl, Rhea Ripley. So nothing more to say. You could even make an argument for this to be the fight of the night if you wanted to. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, what a moment for the EST. Wow, what a Rumble.
Yeah, it was definitely a great moment for the EST, Bianca Belair, the biggest win of her career. And it could be even a bigger win, depending on which title is going to go for at WrestleMania. But we all think it's going to be Sasha Banks and the SmackDown Women's title. I mean, all the legends that came back. I mean, Victoria, Jillian Hall, and Tori Wilson. And yes, I was a happy man to see some of my NXTers taking part in it. Tony Storm, Shotzi Blackheart, Rhea Ripley, and Dakota Kai taking part in the Women's Royal Rumble. But yeah, I mean, Rhea Ripley basically doing the smart thing and basically eliminating Alexa Bliss before she went into Fiend mode, because Fletch and I both said, and Florio, I told you too, if Alexa Bliss went into Fiend mode, that's it. It's over. No one's gonna beat Alexa Bliss. But Rhea thought quickly and eliminated her before she could do that, and I'll bet you that Alexa Bliss ain't gonna be happy, and who knows, maybe this could start a feud between the two of them. Because I think, and I'm with Fletch, I think Rhea's going to Monday Night Raw, and I know that'll make Anthony Florio one happy man. And you really think Rhea's going to back down from Alexa Bliss, especially when she goes into Fiend mode? Not on your life, because she is a badass and can hang around with anybody. So, but getting back to this, Bianca Belair, I mean, congratulations to her. Like I said, the biggest win of her career so far could lead to a bigger one at Mania. 4.5 stars. I agree with the ratings, so nothing more to say. Let's move right along, Fletch.
There's only 2 matches left, and the next one's for the Universal title, as it was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a last man standing match. The winner of the bout in 24 minutes and 54 seconds, and still the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Wow. Another incredible match. This was 4.25, 4.5 stars. This is how you do a last man standing match. Both guys went through hell to put on what was easily their best match to date in this feud. The way they used the venue was one of the best things about this. KO as the resilient challenger and Reigns as the unrelenting champion told a perfect story of 2 rivals who hate each other. This was about more than titles. They wanted blood. This was just another example of why Roman Reigns deserves the spot he has on Friday Night SmackDown as the head of the table and the Tribal Chief. They even managed to outdo all of the golf cart spots AEW has done with Sammy Guevara. The trash talking peppered in throughout the match added to what was already a great contest. The heelish way that Roman Reigns took out mine and Michael Bullock's favorite referee, Mr. Danilo Amphibio, to avoid losing was the icing on the cake. But man, I hear MF snickering back there. But anyways, this was you can easily make an argument this was another 4.5 star match. I mean, they brought it again. I'm not at all surprised, and nothing more to say except Michael Bullock. I mean, our favorite referee, Mr. Danilo Video, and his pompadour. Yeah, you know him. I mean, this was the biggest, I think this is the biggest match he's ever refereed. Unfortunately, he didn't get to see the end of it as the tribal chief took him out to avoid losing, and Mr. Jason Ayers had to take over.
Yeah, like you said, Jason Ayers had to take over for him to finish off the match. So, yeah, 4.5 stars. I agree. I mean, this was the definition of a last man standing and be a man fight. I mean, they used a whole lot of the venue during this, and yeah, I mean, Roman going over was the best move, and yeah, I mean, he continues to build momentum heading into Mania. So there's really nothing more to add to it. So Fletch, it is yours.
4.5 stars. I totally agree with you guys. This was an incredible match. It couldn't have done any better. It was definitely, other than, I guess you could say, non-Rumbles, this was the fight of the night. Like, if you're excluding just the Rumble matches and just as regular matches without the Rumble card, this was the fight of the night. You could even go and say that this could go top 5 as one of the greatest Royal Rumble matches. Oh, one of the greatest matches on a Royal Rumble pay-per-view. You could say it definitely deserves that type of accolades because it was incredible. Alright guys, so here we go. Men's Royal Rumble, the main event of the evening. Now, as many of you guys know, last night on WWE Backstage, Randy Orton was announced as the number 1 competitor. Edge was number 2. But they decided to switch the numbers, so Edge came out first, Orton came out second. Number 3 was Sami Zayn from SmackDown. 4 was Mustafa Ali from Raw. 5 was Jeff Hardy from Raw. 6 was Dolph Ziggler. Number 7 was Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 8, Carlito. He's back. Number 9 was Xavier Woods from Raw. Number 10 was Big E from SmackDown. Then we had a run of Raw guys. 11, John Morrison. 12, Ricochet. 13, Elias. Number 14, Damian Priest of NXT. Number 15, Miz from Raw. 16, Matt Riddle. Riddle. Then it turned to the way of SmackDown a little bit. 17 was Daniel Bryan. 18 was Kane. Kane made a return. 19, King Corbin. 20, Otis. 21, Dominic Mysterio. 22, Bobby Lashley from Monday Night Raw. 23, the Hurricane. 24 was Christian. 25, AJ Styles. 26 was Rey Mysterio. 27, Sheamus. 28, Cesaro. 29 was Seth Rollins. And number 30, the coveted number 30, went to Braun Strowman. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble match, the Rated R superstar Edge, went from the beginning to the end, the 3rd man ever to pull the feet off. He joins Shawn Michaels and Chris Benoit. Yes, I'm going to say the name. I don't give a damn if I get in trouble for it. He did it. Edge goes on to become the 3rd man from the number 1 spot to win the Royal Rumble. Michael Bullock. Oh my goodness. And as a matter of fact, it was similar to 1995. Remember that Royal Rumble? The first 2 men was Shawn Michaels and the British Bulldog, and they went all the way to the end. Tonight, Randy Orton and Edge, number 1, number 2, They went to the end, and Edge wins the Rumble.
What a moment that was for Edge to come back after he had that injury, goes in number one and goes the distance. And yes, he goes to WrestleMania and now he gets closer to winning back a title that will, because remember, guys, WrestleMania 27. I mean, he retained, well, back then was the World Heavyweight Championship. And then he had to relinquish it and had to retire because of injury. So he has a chance to win back a world title that he never lost. So we'll wait and see how that goes. I mean, I thought this was a good one, but I thought the women's one was just a smidget better. I'll give it 4 stars. But I mean, I could have given it higher, but here's a little nitpick. I got a bone to pick with this one. AJ Styles' boy Almas. I mean, he eliminated which 2 guys did he? It was Big E and Rey Mysterio.
He got Rey out. Yeah, he got Rey out.
Now, my problem with this, and I don't know how you guys feel about it. Why are those 2 are considered eliminated when they were eliminated by someone that wasn't even in the match?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been seeing this so many times in this. I mean, that is my only problem with this whole thing. The only time an elimination should count is if you're eliminated by a person that is in the Royal Rumble match, not by someone who's not in it or someone who's already been eliminated. That is my only beef with this. I mean, when is WWE gonna fix this problem? My guess is probably never. I mean, because to me, at this point, I'm getting sick and tired of seeing this. Whether it's a Royal Rumble match or any kind of battle royal. So, but I'm not taking anything away from Edge's victory, no doubt about it. But this is my only problem with this whole thing. So, 4 stars for me. I could have given it more, but it's just because of that is the reason why I'm rating it lower. Fletch, it's yours.
I'm gonna go 4.5. It will if Amos did not get involved, this would have gotten the 5-star rating. This would have been the 5-star. Michael Bullock brings up a valid point. What on earth with the ref? I mean, WWE's really gonna have to look at themselves on this one, because if you think about it, Amos literally screwed SmackDown on us. Big E and Ray both got eliminated because of him. Those are 2 SmackDown guys. If there's one person who needs to be pissed off, it's me on the SmackDown side. Those are 2 of my guys that got eliminated by that big goof. So, yeah, Michael Bullock brings up a really good point. I got a bone to pick right now. But, you know, it is what it is. Look, that's referee's discretion. They should have thrown him out of the building after the first elimination. I don't understand how they could allow that. As on top of that, every time AJ was getting thrown, he landed right in the area where Amos was there to save him. Thank God Braun figured it out, because he tried to throw him one end and he's like, wait a minute, he's just going to go right back to Amos. Okay, I'll throw you out this way. I'll throw you out instead of going east, I'm going to go north on you. Your big boy ain't gonna track you down this time. And out AJ went. Thank God. But, oh man, this is a good Royal Rumble. Edge deserves the moment. He's got the moment. He gets the opportunity. Now the question is, who's he going to fight? Is he going after Drew? Is he going after Roman? Now, a lot of people were saying maybe he goes after Drew, but as of now, there's some people out there that are saying that he might actually go after Roman Reigns because of the spear versus spear. And well, the thing is that I think he's probably gonna go after the WWE Championship and Drew McIntyre. I think that would be a great matchup. The question now becomes is, what happens now? Because you kind of have to feel like for Roman, he's probably going to have to put the belt up for grabs now in the Elimination Chamber. And there's a lot of guys right now who's probably itching to get a shot at the belt. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be interesting going into WrestleMania. Well, Matt Ward just made his intentions known. He's calling it. He's saying Edge versus Roman for WrestleMania. So that's his prediction. So Matt Ward, a good friend of ours, he's laid it. He's calling it Edge and Roman for WrestleMania. That would mean the Universal title on the line. All right, Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
Yeah, I'm very curious how what was going through Matt Ward's mind when he saw his girl Santana Garrett in the Women's Royal Rumble match. That's just how I was figuring. That's one thing that came across my mind. And when I saw Santana Garrett, I'm like, somewhere in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh boy, Ward's losing it right now. So, yep. But anywho, 4.25 to 4.5. I would say this was the second best fight of the night. There were only a handful of people who could have made a special moment by winning, and Edge was one of them. He lasted from the start all the way until the end and gave a gutsy performance along the way. Some of the returns, like Carlito and Christian, were fun because they looked like they could get back in a WWE ring full time. Others, like Kane, added little to the overall story. The Women's Rumble had a few more memorable moments, but the men's match was just as good overall. Both had emotional victors who were heavy favorites heading into the show. And as far as my thought as to what could go on with Edge, I disagree. I think Edge is gonna go after McIntyre. I think Edge is gonna go for Drew McIntyre and the WWE Championship. Matt Ward. Yep, I'm not at all surprised. Oh, and Shotzi too. Oh, okay. But I'm not at all surprised to see that. But anyways, getting back to my train of thought here, I still feel it's going to be Daniel Bryan against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship, based on what we've seen on the Talking Smack, and they can still do that. Maybe they could have a contenders match inside the Elimination Chamber. They've done that. They've done that before. And if they do that, especially on the SmackDown side, I think Daniel Bryan can win that match, and then you can still set up Bryan against Roman for Mania. But yeah, so much for the rumor about Shinsuke Nakamura winning. Yeah, that dirt sheet turned out to be fake news, I guess. And Big E was another favorite, but Omos was responsible for that. And yeah, even though I'm a Raw guy, that rubbed me the wrong way. I'll be honest with you. I'm with Bullock. I don't like seeing, in Royal Rumble matches, especially when we see participants get eliminated by people who are not in the Royal Rumble match, or eliminated by someone who's already been eliminated from the Rumble match. I have a big problem with that as well. But other than that, though, fantastic Rumble match. The women's match was a smidgen better, but Edge, what can you say? 47 years old, and he pulled that out. Unbelievable. And a three-way tie for the most eliminations. Let me see, who was it? It was Big E, Damian Priest, and Seth Rollins, each with 4 eliminations apiece. And Edge and Orton, obviously the long men, 58.5 minutes. And I was worried when Orton came back. I'm like, oh no, Orton's going to win. Don't tell me. But, I mean, because we've already seen Orton against Drew. We don't need to see it again. I guess they felt the same way. I think it's going to be Edge going after McIntyre. And I still think it's going to be Bryan and Roman. I still think it's going to be that. But we'll see. I mean, we only have 3 weeks to build up the Chamber. Chamber is scheduled for February 21. So we'll wait and see. So, but 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Second best fight of the night. So Women's Rumble stole the damn show. That's all I can say on that. So, MF, let's get to our overall thoughts.
This was a pretty damn good Royal Rumble event. There's really no doubt about that. Other than the Goldberg Drew McIntyre fight, this was at least a 9 out of 10. I mean, I could say 9.5 out of 10. I mean, this was by far one of the best Royal Rumble events from beginning to end. That's not a lot that we can say, but I'll go as far to say it. This was by far one of the best Royal Rumble events in, probably I could say, in the last 5-10 years. I mean, it was that good. It was really good. Go out of your way to get this event. Go out of your way. So, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours. Tony?
Oh, I forgot to unmute my mic.
Oh, all right. Okay.
But even the biggest WWE hater, Derek Ferreira, they even won him over tonight. Can you believe that? I mean, we all know Derek has been very critical of the product over the years, and especially recently, especially Monday Night Raw, and rightfully so. But, you know, Derek said it. This was the best Royal Rumble show in a very, very long time. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. WWE seemed to be focused and headed towards WrestleMania with a clear path. And he also said definitely won't be going on a rant tonight. So good for him. But as far as I'm concerned, even though the build-up heading in was lackluster, WWE ended up putting on a great Royal Rumble pay-per-view to start 2021 the right way. I definitely agree with MF's sentiment here. You can definitely give this a 9 out of 10. And oh man, fantastic show. Both Rumble matches stole the damn show. What else is there to say? The women's match I thought was slightly better than the men's. They were both great, but the women's was just a smidgen better, if I'm going to be honest. And but the Royal Rumble was a fantastic show that greatly benefited from having no filler matches. The WWE Championship was predictably short, but thankfully McIntyre retained. The last man standing, I mean, Reigns and Owens played their roles to perfection. Both Rumble matches were great. And finally, Bianca Belair's time to shine. She's a better natural fit against Sasha, and I think she's going to go after her for the SmackDown belt. They could have the women's show stealer match for WrestleMania, just like Charlotte and Rhea did last year. And Edge, I mean, his return was the clear narrative framework for the men's Rumble, with Orton's faux injury and Christian's return playing into it. And I think Edge is going to go after Drew for the title. And, you know, we'll have to wait and see. So, great show. Both Rumble matches incredible. Last man standing incredible. I mean, those 3 matches were all great. Sasha and Carmella, decent fight. Goldberg and Drew, of course, the worst fight of the night. And the pre-show match, even that was, decent. So, I think 8.5 to 9, I think would be the appropriate rating, but it was still a very good show. So, great way to start it off. So, and gentlemen, when you see the sign, I mean, it's WrestleMania season when you see the WrestleMania sign. I was wondering if they were going to find room for it in there. They somehow did. And I'm glad they did. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, welcome to the road to WrestleMania.
And we're in for a good one. I got a feeling with that. So, yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. I mean, with the exception of the Goldberg Drew McIntyre match, everything else was good to great as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, you guys pretty much touched on everything. So let's just put a bow on this, Fletch.
All right, and we will. Tomorrow night is Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. The fallout from the Royal Rumble, and yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. Then on Wednesday Night Mayhem. Thursday is gonna be one of the biggest shows of the year. The preview of Super Bowl 55. We are gonna go full in depth on the game that we've always done it, just like you saw in the AFC and NFC championship games that we did a couple of weeks ago. We will go full in depth in that one. Cerebral Smack Talk on Friday, and depending on how the game goes, we might do a recap of the Super Bowl on Sunday night. Depending, I don't know. I'll probably get with Florio and Bullock if they want to do it, or we'll just wait till the week after. We'll see. So until then, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night. So long for now.